Okay, so this video is going to be on dimensional analysis. This is still part of Unit 1. Now we have just now covered the metric system and how to convert within a metric system. And since it's based on powers of 10, it's real easy to convert because all we have to do is move our decimal to the left or to the right to go to a different unit. However, in the English system of measurement, it's not quite that simple. It's not based on powers of 10. It has some weird conversions that we have to either memorize or use some chart to be able to convert. So dimensional analysis is the practice of using unit conversion factors to convert from one unit to another unit within the English system of measurement. English system, you think about instead of meters and kilometers, we have inches and miles and feet. And we have to know certain conversion factors to be able to do these problems. And a conversion factor relates two different units together. So for example, if I was going to convert from hours to seconds, I would need to know that 1 hour is equal to 3,600 seconds. Or 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Another one's 1 meter is equal to 3.28 feet. 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2 pounds. Then we have 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. 1 foot is 12 inches. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. 1 yard is 3 feet. So all these different conversion factors will help us to convert within the English system and also to convert from the metric system to the English system. So these problems are a little bit more difficult than converting within the metric system, but if we use our conversion factors and cancel out our units, then we should be able to do this. Alright, so if we look at an example problem, and my first one says convert 3 feet to inches. Alright, so if I'm going to go feet to inches, I've got to figure out first, can I do that in one step? Or is it going to, be multiple steps for me to get there? Now, I can go from feet to inches by using the conversion factor. And a conversion factor is something I can memorize or I know, or I can refer to a chart to help me convert. So to convert feet to inches, I would need to know the conversion factor that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So most of you, if I asked you to work this problem, you could do it in your head and you would automatically know, well, you need to multiply 3 times 12 to go from feet to inches. Well, this one's real easy, but we're going to get into some that's not so, easy to think of in your head. So we need to know how to work this out. And if we don't know if we're supposed to multiply or divide, how can we set this up to where we cancel out our units? Where we'll multiply when we need to multiply and divide when we need to divide. So first step, I have my conversion factor right here. 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. I'm going to need that to convert from feet to inches. And then I start the problem. Well, I have starting with 3 feet. Okay, I'm going to write that. And I'm going to put that, to make it simple, I'm going to put that over 1. And then I'm going to multiply by my conversion factor right here. Now, when I multiply by this conversion factor, I can either do it like this. I can multiply 1 foot over 12 inches or 12 inches over 1 foot. Now, which one is the correct form? Would it be multiplying by this or by this? Well, it all depends on my units and how they cancel out. All right, this is first I'm going to do it the wrong way to show you why only one of these will work. Let's say that I multiplied by 1 foot over 12 inches. When I multiply this out, I would take everything on top, the 3, multiply it by 1. That would equal 3. And then I would multiply everything on bottom. 1 times 12, that would be 3 over 12. So then I'd have to take 3 divided by 12 to get my answer. But look at my units. My units, I would have feet on top times feet on top, which would give me feet squared over, then my units on bottom would be inches. Now I'm trying to go feet to inches, not feet to feet squared over inches. So that would be incorrect doing it that way, multiplying by 1 foot over 12 inches. So there's only one way I can work this and multiply by my conversion factor. So if I start over, I have 3 feet. I'm going to put that over 1. I'm going to multiply by my conversion factor. And like I said, when I put 1 foot over 12 inches, I came out with feet squared over inches. So I'm going to do it the other way. Now I'm going to put the 12 inches on top over the 1 foot. When I do this, if I have feet on top and feet on bottom, they will cancel out. And then I will be left with the units I need, which is inches. Because my units canceled out and this gave me my correct units, this would be the correct way to use this conversion factor. It would be 12 inches over 1 foot instead of 1 foot over 12 inches. Then I do the math. I'm going to multiply 3 times 12, everything on top. It gives me 36. Then multiply everything on bottom, 1 times 1. And then divide, 36 divided by 1 would equal 36. And then my units would be inches. So 3 feet is the same thing as 36 inches. It's just using a different unit to measure that. Because when we measure length, we can, if I was going to measure the length of this line, I could use centimeters, I could use inches, I could use millimeters, I could use even, feet to measure it. I could use miles or kilometers. So I need to be able to convert between all those units. Now the next example, it says to convert 2.3 years to minutes. Now this is not going to be able to, there's no way, I don't know a conversion, I don't have one up here that goes from years to minutes, but what I can do is go from years to days, and then from days to hours, and then from hours to minutes. So I kind of have to have a plan to go by, and I know that I can go from years to days to hours and then to minutes. So this is going to be a multiple step problem. Now, so when I work this, I'm going to need to know several conversions. I'm going to need to know that 1 year is equal to 365 days. I'm going to need to know that 1 day is equal to 24 hours. And that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So this is going to be like a 3-step problem, but I'm going to work it all out in 1 step. So to start the problem, I'm starting off with 2.3 years. I'm going to put that over 1. And then I'm going to multiply by my conversion factors. First, I'm going from years to days. So I'm going to use this conversion factor. I need to put either the 1 year on top or the 365 days on top. Well, I'm trying to go to days, and whatever I'm going to is what goes on top. Whatever I'm trying to cancel out goes on bottom. So I'm going to his days, so I'm going to put the 365 days on top over 1 year. And then my years will cancel, and my units will be in days. So if I stopped right now, my answer would be in days, but I want to keep going. Next, I'm going to go from days to hours. I got 1 day equals 24 hours. I'm going to put my conversion factor of the 1 day on bottom because I want my days to cancel. And I'm going to put the 24 hours on top. Now, once I did the math on this, I would be in hours, but I want to go to minutes. So I'm going to go one more step, and I got my conversion factor 1 hour equals 60 minutes. I want to cancel out hours, and I want my minutes to be my units. So whatever I'm going to is going to go on top. So that'd be 60 minutes over 1 hour. Because now my hour, I got one on top, one on bottom, they will cancel. And all my units are canceled except minutes, which is what I'm looking for. So now what I want to do is multiply every number on top and then every number on bottom and then divide at the end. If I take my calculator, if I can figure out how to get it off here. Maybe I can get it off this way. Okay, so here we go. Oh, there was how to do it. All right, so now I'm going to multiply everything on top. I got 2.3 times 365 times 24 and then times 60. And if I get a real big number, and it is 1,208,880, and then my units would be minutes. So 2.3 years is the same thing as 1,208,880 minutes. Then I multiply everything on bottom, which is just 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. This gives all that over 1, which my answer just ends up being 1,280 minutes. Or 208,880 minutes. All right, so if we look at the next example, I'm going to convert 175 centimeters to feet. So to go from centimeters to feet, if you look at your chart, I don't have in one step where I can go centimeters to feet. But what I can do is go from centimeters to inches and then go to feet. So there'll be 2 steps. So what I need to know is that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. And also I need to know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches to do this problem. So then I'm going to start. I have 175 centimeters. I'm going to put that over 1. Then I'm going to multiply by my conversion factors. First, I'm going to go to inches, then go to feet. So to go to inches, I want my centimeters to cancel out, so I'm going to put the 2.54 centimeters on bottom and the 1 inch on top, because my centimeters will cancel, and now my units are in inches. So if I stop this problem now and did the math, I'd be in inches. But I want to go on to feet, so I'm going to keep multiplying out. So now to go to feet, I need to put the 1 foot on top and the 12 inches on bottom. That way my inches will cancel and my units will be in feet, which is what I'm looking for. And then I can just do the math. So I'm going to multiply everything on top. 175 times 1 times 1 will give me 175. Multiply everything on bottom. It'll be 1 times 2.4 times 12. So if I take 2.54 times 12 equals 30.48. Now I'm going to take 175 divided by 30.48. And that equals 5.7414. I'm going to round this to 2 decimal places. So that would be 5.74. My units will be feet. So 175 centimeters is the same length as 5.74 feet. Okay, so next I have convert 200 meters to yards. Now for this one, I'll have to look at my conversions and see what I can do, but I think I can go, I'm going to have to go from meters first to feet and then to yards. So if I look back at my conversions, if I can go, I have this conversion here. 1 meter equals 3.28 feet. So one of my conversion factors is 1 meter equals 3.28 feet. And then I need to go from feet to yards, and I know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. Then I start the problem. I have 200 meters. I'm going to put that over 1. Then I'm going to multiply by my conversion factors. First I'm going to go to feet. I want to put my 1 meter, my conversion factor on bottom, my 3.28 feet on top. That way my meters cancel and my units will be feet now. But then I want to go to yards. So I'm going to keep multiplying out. Now for my conversion factor right here, I'm going to put the 3 feet on bottom because I want feet to cancel, and the 1 yard on top. That way my feet will cancel because one's on top, one's on bottom. And my units, the only ones left is yards. That's what I'm looking for. So then let's do the math. I'm going to multiply all these numbers on top first. So that will be 200 times 3.28, which would give me 656 over, and then on the bottom I got 1 times 3, which would just be 3. So 656 divided by 3 gives me 218.6 repeating, which would be 2 decimal places, 218.6. And then that would round up to 7. And my units would be, I'm looking for yards. So 200 meters is the same thing as 218.67 yards. Now our last example problem, it says convert 12,300 inches to miles. You know, this is going to be multiple steps. If I'm in inches first, I can go from inches to feet. And then from feet, I got a conversion factor that I can go to miles. So I need to know that 1 foot equals 12 inches. And then go from feet to miles, I need to know that 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. So to start the problem, I have 12,300 miles. I'm going to put that over 1, and I'm going to multiply by my conversion factor. First, I'm going to go to inches. First I'm going to go to feet. Well, I wrote that down wrong. I'm starting off in inches and going to miles. So that'd be inches. So first I'm going to go to feet. I need to put my 12 inches for my conversion factor on bottom, my 1 foot on top. That way my inches will cancel and my units will be in feet. And then from feet I'm going to go to miles. I got 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. I need to put the 5,280 feet on bottom and the 1 mile on top. That way my feet will cancel and I'll be left in units of miles, which is what I'm looking for. And then I'm going to multiply everything on top, that number times 1 times 1, and then everything on bottom, and then divide at the end. So 12,300 times 1 times 1 is going to give you 12,300. Over, multiply everything on bottom, that would be 1 times 12 times 5,280. So 12 times 5,280 equals 63,360. Then I'm going to divide at the end. I would take 12,300 divided by 63,360. And that gives me 0.194. I'm around the 2 decimal places, so that would just be 0.19, because the 9 would stay a 9 because the next number is a 4. If it was 5 or greater, it would round up. So that'd be 0.19, and then my units would be miles. So 12,300 inches is the same distance as 0.19 miles. And this is how you convert between different units in the English system. This is dimensional analysis is what it's called. And if you can work these 5 problems, you should be able to work any of the ones on our worksheets. So you're going to complete the first worksheet and then have volunteers go up to the board and show your calculations. That way everybody can check their work and you can help one another. And then we'll do worksheet 2 and do the same thing.